Why was Raj the only singleton left in the gang? What kind of father would Sheldon be? And will we ever learn Penny's last name? Hi, I'm Dylan, and you're watching Awesome Movies. When will Raj find his love? Well, I mean, beyond cinnamon, of course. It's always been hard for Raj to deal with women. In the beginning, he couldn't even talk to a lady unless he was drunk. Still, by the end of the show, he dated a handful of girls, he even dated 2 at the same time once, and he was ready for an arranged marriage and to finally have a stable relationship. Too bad it didn't work out when his fiancé-turned-girlfriend Anu had to move to London. Given how big of a romantic Raj is, it's a bit sad that the finale showed him as the only member of the gang without a significant other. I mean, even Stuart found his love. Sure, Raj brought an awesome date with him to Sheldon's acceptance speech, Sarah Michelle Gellar herself. But since she's married and has kids, it's implausible that their relationship could go any further. It's just weird that the writers didn't give Raj a happier ending. After all he's been through, doesn't he deserve to wind up with the woman of his dreams? Or does the finale mean that Raj will stay single forever? Will Sheldon and Amy have kids? And more importantly, what kind of parents will they be? Well, I'm sure that Amy will be a kind and compassionate mom, but what about Sheldon? Knowing how logical he is, it's hard to imagine him around a toddler who's throwing a tantrum. Will he sign a parent-child agreement with his kid to ensure that they behave well? I mean, how will it even work with the child? On the other hand, Sheldon might decide to make a parenting agreement with Amy instead to keep their child's upbringing under control. And even before the baby's birth, there would be lots of interesting things to behold. My God, would we like to see Sheldon around pregnant Amy? Would he be there for her during labor? After all, as we all remember, he hates the look of blood, and he didn't really like the experience of helping his sister give birth to her child. Share your ideas with us in the comments below. Possibly, if the show had continued, we'd soon learn the answers to these questions because one of the final season's episodes made us ask, is Amy already pregnant? The final season's episode, The Conference Valuation, left us wondering whether Amy was already expecting a baby. Remember how she gave Sheldon a book on experimenting on kids and even got him to join the rest of the gang while watching Howard and Bernadette's children? Before that, Sheldon didn't want anything to do with kids, but in this episode, he suddenly gets so excited playing with them and even wants to feed and bathe them. And it's all thanks to the book Amy gave him. At some point, Raj gets suspicious and realizes that it wasn't a coincidence, and Amy got the book to show Sheldon that he can have fun around kids. She basically wanted to trick her husband into liking children, and she succeeded. At the end of the episode, Sheldon tells her that he wants to have kids, bringing a satisfactory smile to her face. Fans assumed that the finale would show that Amy didn't come up with this plan just for fun and that she's already pregnant. But instead, the final episode revealed the pregnancy of another character. How will Leonard and Penny cope as parents? The big reveal was completely unexpected. If you think about it, it's actually pretty weird that the writers decided to take this turn of events right after all the fuss about Penny not wanting kids and Leonard wanting them. Gosh, he was even willing to donate his genetic material to Penny's ex Zach and his wife, so that they could have a child at least biologically related to him. But eventually, he didn't go through with it, and Penny, in her turn, didn't go through with her desire to remain child-free. Surprisingly, she looked pretty happy that she was going to become a mother. Well, okay, she has a right to change her mind, but it leaves a question about what kind of parents they're going to be. After all, Leonard and Penny are very different people, and they'll have completely different approaches to raising their kid. Leonard will probably encourage his child to become a scientist, while Penny will do everything to make him or her the most popular kid at school. Both Penny and Leonard will certainly want to stay away from the mistakes their parents made while raising them and give their child as much affection as they can. And I'm sure that they'll succeed in dealing with the baby because they've had so much practice from living with Sheldon for so long. Ugh, it's a shame that we won't see Penny as a mom on screen. But let's proceed to another question about her husband. Why did we never meet Leonard's siblings? We all know how his mother never appreciated him for who he was and always compared him to his more successful siblings. And we also remember that his sister is a medical researcher who's looking for a cure for diabetes, while his brother is a tenured Harvard law professor. They're mentioned continuously, especially when Beverly Hofstadter comes around, but we never got to meet them on screen. Not even once. It's bizarre that neither of Leonard's Wonder siblings came to their brother's wedding. In the episode, The Conference Valuation, Leonard has disturbing flashbacks when Sheldon and the others experiment with Howard's kids. He recalls how his mother also experimented on him when he was a child. So it leaves questions. Did Leonard's siblings actually ever exist? Or were they just actors who played a part in Beverly's experiments with her son? It's possible that she just wanted to see how Leonard would react to all the shaming and constant reminders that his brother and sister were better than him. Knowing how cold-hearted Beverly could be at times, do you think she could really have done this? Will Howard finally get his PhD? Ridiculed continuously by Sheldon for not having a doctorate, he was at least honored to have been called Astronaut Wolowitz in his friend's acceptance speech. It means that Sheldon is finally willing to accept Howard for who he is and stop shaming him. But does it also mean that Howard will never want to get his PhD? On the one hand, he's under no obligation to do it because he's already a successful and intelligent engineer. But on the other hand, getting a doctorate would undoubtedly be good for his self-esteem. At some point in the show, he talked about obtaining it, but this storyline didn't go anywhere. It's unclear whether he failed or decided that it wasn't a good time for becoming Dr. Wolowitz and postponed it. So maybe when his kids grow up and he has more free time, he'll decide to finally go for it. Too bad we won't see it. It would be exhilarating to watch how he'd rub his degree in Sheldon's face and prove that he's as knowledgeable as his other friends. But there was something else about Howard that left us questioning. What about Howard's dad and brother? Howard's dad abandoned the family when he was a kid, and all he had left from his father was a letter he was supposed to read when he turned 18, but he never opened it. Sheldon later found this letter while cleaning up in Wolowitz's closet and read it without even asking for permission. Everyone else in the gang soon learned the content of that letter, but Howard burned it and asked everyone not to say anything to him. Just like Howard, we never found out the details of what his father wrote to him, but we did learn that he had another son. Howard's half-brother John showed up in season 8. At first, Howard was uncomfortable with learning that his father had another family, but soon the two brothers got along and kinda bonded. It looked like we were going to see more of John in the subsequent episodes, but he never appeared in the show again. It remained unclear why he showed up just to disappear so quickly. Will Bernadette become a stay-at-home mom? Before she became a mom, Bernie was quite a career-centric woman. She built a successful career in pharmaceuticals, had a very good salary, and loved her life. And then she had a kid and everything changed. She even struggled to go back to work for a while because she felt like she was abandoning Holly. But she managed to deal with it, especially because they had Stuart who helped take care of the baby and then her little brother too. And yet, after the finale, things must have got a bit more complicated because Stuart moved in with his girlfriend and wouldn't work as a full-time babysitter anymore. Does that mean that Bernadette could become a stay-at-home mom? After all, she did consider it when she was pregnant with her first baby. On the other hand, she might decide that she can't quit her job as it pays really well. Will she ask Howard to be a stay-at-home dad then? It'd be fun to watch the two of them solving this problem or trying to bring Stuart back into their lives to help them out again. Speaking of our favorite comic book store owner, will Stuart finally be happy? He has always been the most depressed character in the Big Bang Theory. Well, except for an episode early in the show where he dated Penny. Other than that, Stuart would regularly come across as someone who has low self-esteem, ill health, and a tremendous amount of bad luck with women. He lived with Howard and Bernadette after his store burned down, and he complained about everything. But in the final season, we saw a change in his character. Stuart met Denise, a woman who genuinely liked him, and they even moved in together. The Big Bang Theory's newest couple had a lot in common and looked very cute. Too bad we didn't get to see more of their life together. After all, it would be so great to watch Stuart growing out of his insecurities while being in a stable relationship. Isn't it a huge loss? Well, maybe not as huge as… what the heck is Penny's maiden name? This is the question we've had from the very beginning of the series after we realized that all the other characters had last names. Only Penny never revealed hers. I mean, was she a top secret agent or something? Or was she like Cher or Madonna until she became a Hofstadter? Looks like we'll never know. The show writers revealed that in the beginning, the absence of Penny's last name was just an accident, but then they thought that telling it might bring some kind of bad luck to the show. In fact, Kaylee Cuoco once said that she's very superstitious about revealing Penny's maiden name, although she has a suggestion on what it might be. It feels like a jinx. We haven't said it for so long. I feel like if we said it, the world would explode, the actress said to CBS. So it seems that even if The Big Bang Theory continued for more seasons and we'd find out answers to all the other questions, Penny's maiden name would remain a mystery forever. Are there any other questions you have left after the finale of The Big Bang Theory? Write them in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and stay awesome. Thanks for watching.